having some glitches when you go online. It's really mostly problems with this online. You go online, there's some glitches and stuff that can happen. You know, people get stuck midair. We've seen videos, people get stuck midair, floating, unlimited float tech. We've seen constant reports of people saying their PC crashed. One guy saying that going into online modes consistently 10 times in a row, his PC crashed. So, you know, that's not it's not the best look. You know, somebody invested in a $10,000 machine, put a game in, it crashed, and they're like, oh my goodness, like, is it the PC? Is it the game? Next thing you know, you frantic. It's like, I didn't put too much money into everything for this to be happening. But yeah, so, you know, hopefully, you know, it seems like those on PS4 and stuff like that are doing really well. It's just the PC version. So what's your guys' takes on this? You know, I know SNK is feeling really good right now about pushing that stuff back, you know, so start with you, Mr. Gamer. What's your opinions on this?
So I wanted to get the game because it looked cool. I was a fan of Under Night In-Birth, and I actually never played Melty until after I played Under Night. So I thought I was gonna get the game, not at launch, but I was like, I might try it. And I saw it on Steam. I'm like, I might grab it on PC. But someone was like, don't do it. Someone was just whispering, like, you know, don't do it. So I was like, you know, I think I'll wait. I'll just see some stuff. And then I saw some stuff online last night. A dude was like, he did like a super or something. Then he like did a certain input. And he's like, he's like floating for a minute. I'm like, oh, we got some tech already. I'm like, oh, snap. And then I looked at it. I was like, wait a minute. He's mashing the buttons on his inputs, but nothing's happening. I'm like, oh, the game is not working. Oh, this ain't tech. This is a crash. Like, this is so. I was just like, you know, this is interesting. I've seen people be invisible, which is interesting. Like the crash, like 10 times in a row. Honestly, if I play the game and it crashed 10 times in a row, I'm probably gonna refund. Like,
hey, that's great tech if you losing in tournament. Just crash the system.
I mean, like you can't run a tournament like that. Grand finals and then you just floating or the game just crashed, like, and you can't get it to work again. Like, come on, that's. I don't know if they rushed the game. I mean, it didn't really seem like it was rushed. I don't think. I mean, it's not that big of a roster. This game is not like a huge, like, big AAA game. So I don't know. It didn't seem rushed, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe the thing is like Melty Blood is supposed to be ran on like poverty systems, you know, somewhere off in a secluded corner. So maybe it's not used to being ran on like these new upgraded systems in 3080s and stuff like this. So I don't understand how to properly work on these really good computers. I need to work on, like, you know, a computer with like 1 gig of memory and like 2 kilobytes of, you know, like processing power. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm just being funny here, but I mean, it's just one of them things. Like, I guess maybe they just didn't work out some of the bugs. Like, maybe they got to go back to the drawing board on a few things. And I hadn't heard anything about console, so I mean, console might be the way to go for this game. So, but it kind of. It's just one of the things that sucks, because anytime PC games comes out, it's usually always an issue. The games have some type of bugs. I mean, it's almost like unavoidable. Outriders had bugs. I mean, Cyberpunk was just a mess altogether. Yeah. But most games have problems on PC. So I guess you can kind of look at this as like, it's not necessarily like the game is bad or their fault. It's just the fact that when you have games come out on PC, they usually have problems with them, issues. So I guess it's like so many different drivers, and people have different like equipment for their, you know, hardware for their computers and stuff. So everything's not like the same across the board. With console, it's the console for the most part. So everything is kind of like more on a level playing field. But hey, I don't know. I didn't buy the game yet, so I don't have to worry with it.
Hey man, the most important hardware for Melty Blood, man, is making sure you have waterproof covering for your systems for those wet bathroom floors and sink splatter.
Yeah, boy.
I guess that would be the most important. Like I said, man, I saw somebody posted a picture. They put like screenshots of the new Melty Blood on, like, two people were in the bathroom, of course. They were playing. Like, I mean, I don't want to laugh, but this is funny. Like, why is this such a running joke? It's like, it'll never die. Like, the game just came out and they already got screens of people playing Type Lumina in the restroom. Like, come on, man. Like, take it to the room, take it to your living room or something, man. You just feel comfortable in that. Come on, man. One person playing with the controller, other person playing on the laptop with the keyboard. So it is what it is. I just think this is one of those situations where games come out on PC and they have issues. I think they can probably fix it. It should be a quick fix, hopefully. I mean, maybe we'll find some more glitches and bugs. I mean, people are invisible, people floating, the game crashing. So I don't know.
Yeah, I actually saw like some of the same videos that Mr. Gaming Lift saw, and I got to be honest, man, that was very disconcerting because it's like, I mean, it's literally the day of the game release. Usually when people find glitches like that, at least as far as I've seen, if you find a glitch like the ones that where you're like infinitely floating, you're fighting Reptile from Mortal Kombat, then like usually you find those maybe a week or two in, but we're talking like, man, hours, man. Like it's kind of crazy actually. So I don't know, man. I was actually, I had decently high hopes for Melty Blood. I wouldn't have gone. I'll put it this way: I would never have said that Melty Blood is going to save the FGC. I think that was a little bit of an overstatement. But it was. If I thought it was going to be a good game, and I mean, it looks good. Like, it's not like it's bad, but it's like, I mean, when people are having issues like that on PC, then of course, there's going to be some a little bit of a backlash, because then the people are like, oh man, I bought this game and it doesn't work like right out the box. And, and be 100% honest, like every complaint in regards to glitches and stuff like that is 100% justified because you had to pay money for it. It's not like you just got it, you just like picked it up, whatever, man. Like you had to actually pay for this. So I would be upset too. And I think everybody who's upset about it has every right to be because, like they've been waiting for the game. Some people pre-ordered the game, some people like really just jumped on it. They bought it because, like their friends were going to buy it and stuff. And then you buy the game and then what happens, right? It's like, oh my God, like this game is not working for me. So, I mean, if you're on like on PS4 or something like that, then you probably have no issues. But yeah, like that whole thing where like you're sitting there floating and you see all the inputs on the side, and it's like, oh man, like this is not supposed to happen. Okay, so I don't know, man. I would say that mostly like they got to fix it, man. Like that's pretty much the long and short of it. They got to fix it because the last thing you want is like people like leaving a bad taste in people's mouths, especially after the hype for Type Lumina has been so like over the top, like it's been so crazy. So then the game comes out and it's just like, wow, I can't even. It's unplayable. So yeah, man, the sooner they fix it, the better, man. Because right now it's just not looking good.